Hi, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we will learn about implement key queues in single array. Like we have an array and in that array we have to implement the queue. This is the queue and in that we have to implement the in a single array, right? Okay, so what the problem says, you are given two integers and k. Your task is to implement a class k queues that uses a single array of size n to simulate k in k independent queues. The class should support the following operations. Enqueue xi adds the element x into the isqueue. Dequeue remove the front element from the isqueue and return it. Returns -1 if the queue is empty. Is empty I return true. If the isqueue is empty, return false. If full, return true if an array is completely full and no more element can be inserted, otherwise false. There will be a sequence of queries represented as 1 into I call enqueue x of I, 2I call dequeue, call 3I call is empty, and 4I call is full. The driver code will process the queries, call the corresponding functions and print the result of the dequeue is empty and full operations. You only need to implement the above four functions. Okay, which means we only have to implement these four functions in our code, right? The problem is like a queue. What queues always say? Queues is says like uh, first in first out, which means like we all are a stay, that means a stay in a line, and the line will say like if you come as the first, then you will go as a first, right? So in that problem, which means enqueue, which means we have to insert, like push in a stack. What we have to do, push the same way in a queue, like enqueue. Dequeue, which means we have to remove from the queue, like pop, which means we have to remove the we just have to remove the ith of element. Is empty, what, like there is in the array there is any data or empty. If empty, then return true. Is not empty, then return false. Or at the end is full, the array, that means the queue is full or not. If not full, if full, then return true, otherwise false. Okay, so we just have to come here to n is equal to 4, k is equal to 2, and q is equal to 8, right? So query is the, that means q is of 8. So let's count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Yeah, that's the correct one. Now we just have to do like 1, uh, that means 150, and then 130. So this one, okay. So not need to do the, that means further do, we just have to implement the code, right? In that problem, the problem says like we just have to simulate the linked list inside an array. What we have to do, linked list inside the array. So array of n, right? So array of n store actual value. What is array of n, which store the actual value, right? And then front of k, right? This is the front of k, correct? Front index of each queries, and k, that means is the rear. K, front k is the, that means front index. Rear k, which means rear of the each queue, right? And the next is and act like a next pointer. Then let me which means we have to create the three things. No, that means five things: array of n, front of, rear, next, and one of the free, right? So all the free arrays indices are linked together using the next, which means we have to the link this to uh, this by a next. Each queue is also linked using next, right? Yeah. And now we just have to the write the code without any further delay, right? The question, that means the answer we'll say like we just have to the store the 5 things. So int first array, and then int front, then int rear, then int next, then int free, then int and key, right? Yes. Now now we just have to start to write the code, right? So uh, in that you can see like start from the cake, then int, which means this we just have to use the linked list. This of n is equal to n, and this of k is equal to k, right? Array is equal to new int of n, and front is equal to new int k, rear is equal to new int k, and then next is equal to new int n, correct? Now for the initialize queue as empty, right? uh, yes, and in that just have to start the for loop. Int I is equal to 0 and then is equal to k and I plus plus, and then front of I is equal to rear uh, of I is equal to -1. Yeah, that is the clear for now. Now we have to the initialize free list, right? Now in that for int I is equal to 0, I then is equal to n minus 1, and I that is my bad, I plus plus, then next of I is equal to I plus 1, right? And then just have to do uh, like next of n minus 1 is equal to -1, and 3 is equal to 0. Got it? Yeah. Now we just have to write in the queue. So this I, so we just have to the queue, we just have to make the queue of I for the, that means because we all start in the loop is from this. So for that again we can use the queue of I. So if free is equal to -1, then return, which means overflow, right? And then int index is equal to free, uh, and free is equal to next of index equal to take free index, uh, array of index equal to x if front of qi is equal to -1, then front of qi is equal to index, else next of rear of qi is equal to index, right? And then next of index is equal to -1, and rear of qi is equal to index, right? This is for the our only for enqueue, which means we just have to that means enter in the queue. Now we just have to remove from the queue, right? So if front of qi is equal to -1, which means return -1, right? And key underflow, right? Now int index is equal to front of qi, and then front of qi is equal to next of index, right? And then we'll have to the add index back to free list. Next index is equal to free, and free is equal to index, and then return array of index, right? Now we just have to the come here, and which means if q of I, if like looks like this, then return front of qi is equal to -1, or if it is full, then return free is equal to -1. Yeah, that is this. Now see what happened there. Yeah, the problem is uh, 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 oh, qi was not declare. It is not declare. What is the problem? The problem is 51 line number. Oh, sorry, that is my bad, because there is the q of I. Yeah, so it will run. Yeah, so in that problem, the time complexity of order of 1, and the space complexity is order of uh, which means the time complexity is under this, like, yes, and as space complexity is order of n plus k. Yeah, so thank you for this having so much to tell the end, and thank you for your support. If you need to further more improvement for explaining or other things, you just comment out. I will improve this. Yeah, thank you.